You are welcome, sir. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shegun. Good evening, everyone. And
Good evening.
My name is Adego Ketaiwo, and today we are going to look at introduction to Python programming. And basically, the first lecture and the second one, we talked about SQL using Oracle and also R programming language, which are being taught by both Mr. Babatunde and Mr. Yokun. So today we are going to start with introduction to Python programming. I believe everyone is hearing me.
Yes.
So let me share my screen. So please, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, thank you very much. So today we are going to talk about Python, introduction to Python programming language. And we be guided with this course content. What is programming language, type of programming language, why programming, and Python programming itself, then introduction to Jupyter notebook. So what is programming language? So programming is a set of instructions given to computer to perform a particular task. So these instructions can be written in any language. The way we are speaking Yoruba, some are speaking Hausa, some are speaking Igbo language. So for us to be able to know, so is to understand, is to give computer the language it understands. And the different ways computer understand this programming language can be basically through instructions. There are two languages that computer understands, which is zeros and ones. So for computer to understand these zeros and ones, there is a way we need to set up, give instruction to computer to perform that particular task. Let's take, for example, if we walk to a bank to create an account with a bank, let's say Sky Bank, we will be given a particular form in paper, which will include our name, phone numbers, and all the rest. So these details will then be supplied to the system, which will now be stored in the database such that all your information will be with the banks. So this information are what Mr. Babatunde actually used Oracle, which is SQL, to get the information, to pull out the information, and to give a specific set of instructions using Oracle database. So we can write a code that performs or that can calculate the central tendency of a series of observations, that can find the square root of a number, and also that can add the population of the whole country. So how does computer understand instructions? Basically, it understands instructions through what is known as syntax. So syntax is the set of a step-by-step process that we give to a computer to perform that particular task. There are different programming languages ranging from R, which we have looked at, C++, C, Java, Python, COBOL. Some of us even wrote QBasic, Fortran, while we are in school. So, but we are going to focus on Python programming language, and the essence of this study is actually to groom us to understand, to get insight, to be able to draw insight from data. Insight, there's a lot of information that are being kept inside the data set. Looking at this raw fact, we cannot actually get the clearer picture. And for us to get this clearer picture, we need to carry out some basic things, like visualizations, like performing some descriptive analysis, modeling, and all the rest. So, as I've said, we have been looking at Python, R, and SQL over the period of time now. So why programming? Because it's fun. And also, it increases our critical thinking. Before we can write a code, we need to understand the problem. we need to know what we want to solve. And that process is about thinking, critical thinking to solve that particular problem. And it helps us to solve problems and carry out tasks more efficiently. And programming is a highly sorted after skills. No, is a skills that they look for. When you look at this, they will tell you they need someone that's a data analyst that can actually use some packages, statistical packages. And also, if you are looking for money, no, we can get it through programming language. So Python is one of the most popular language so far, and it was developed by Guido van Rossum in 1991. It is easy to learn and very readable. It is an open source. When we talk about open source, we mean you don't need to pay before you have access to such programming language. And it has highly supportive community. So you are a lot of people that are writing programming, that are writing Python. They have written a lot of code, a lot of library, a lot of functions that you can leverage on. So, and the instructions are given in a shorter code when compared with other programming language. Let's take, for example, the C. In C programming language, if you want to write simple hello world, we will write up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of code before we can write hello world in C programming language. So if you are to write hello world in JavaScript, we need to write about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines of code before we can just write hello world. But when we look at Python, with a simple word, print hello world, we get our result. So the Python is easy to learn, easy to use, because it's just like as if you are speaking English. So we are going to now, for us to be in this study, we are going to work with Jupyter. Jupyter is a version which is hosted on Anaconda, and Anaconda is like a platform which hosts, is a distribution which hosts many packages, many libraries. And the Jupyter notebook will be used in this lesson. So the word Jupyter, it means Julia, Python, and R. So Jupyter notebook or Jupyter lab was actually developed for Julia programming language, for Python, and R. But over the period of time, many programming languages have started, they have started using Jupyter notebook. So Jupyter notebook are documents that blend computation, it blends computations, output, exploratory analysis, mathematics, images, rich media representation of an object. That is, on that Jupyter, you can do so many things. You can write notes, you can perform exploratory research, you can view images and all the rest. So when it comes to the kind of the software used by Python, there are many languages that use compiler, while some use interpreter. So program languages like Java, C++, and C, they make use of compiler. That means they need to compile all the code before they can actually perform the analysis. But when we talk about interpreter, that is, it translates the source file into a machine line by line. And such program language, we have Python, Ruby, and JavaScript using that. So for us to dance, let's explore Jupyter notebook. Let's go to our system and let's see how we can actually launch Jupyter notebook on our system. So I believe at this junction, every one of us, we have installed Jupyter notebook. We have installed Anaconda on our system. So if you have installed Anaconda on our system, just signify that, okay, I've installed Anaconda on my system.
So please, let's just raise up our hands. Yes, we have one person now. Just raise up your hand, your invisible, your E, and you can raise it up through the participants. Yes, we have Emmanuel. Let's raise up. Okay, Oluseyi. Yes, thank you. So let us know how many of us have successfully installed it. It will help us to, yes, only to only 3 people, only 4 have installed. This is hands-on, and it will be better for us to install these packages, this software, so that you can flow. This is not the theory. Yes, we only have 5 people that have installed it. Or if you have it already on your system, just raise up your hands. Once you raise up your hand, it will help us to be able to take the statistics. Yeah. Okay, I believe we can continue. Yeah, let's continue. I think a good number of people have installed. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So to access your Jupyter notebook, firstly, you can go to my computer. That is just by clicking on your Windows. You click on your Windows and you look for Anaconda on your system. So this is my Anaconda. So the first way to access your Jupyter notebook is to access it through Anaconda Navigator. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to wait a bit because it's going to take some time to come up. So while waiting for Anaconda to come up, so for those that are yet to install Anaconda, all you need to do is to go to anaconda.com/downloads. So here is the site, and you will scroll down. So we have different versions here depending on the kind of system you are using. If you are using Windows, this is where you will click. So you will install Python 3.10. If you are using Mac, this is the version you will need to install your system, depending on the byte, whether you want to use the graphical installer or you want to use the command line. So if you are using Linux, this is where you will focus on to download although I have downloaded it before, and that's why I'm not going to download it again. So to download your Anaconda, just need to go to anaconda.com/downloads. So one of the advantage of using Anaconda Navigator is that it's slow and it takes a lot of resources, your system resources. So when we talk about system resources, we talk about RAM, the RAM of your processor and all the rest. So it takes time to load, but just that I want to show you how you can navigate through that using Anaconda Navigator. There's another way, using the command prompt, and we are going to do that once this particular process is completed. So I think we are through. So this is my Anaconda Navigator environment. It can host many programming language. For example, you have Jupyter Lab, you have Jupyter Notebook. You can launch it. These ones that we have launched, that means they have already been installed automatically with Anaconda. So if you want to install RStudio or Anaconda, you can go ahead by clicking on install, which I am not going to do that now. So to launch your Jupyter Notebook, you can use Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Lab. So for Jupyter Notebook, you need to click on launch. So once you click on launch, that will automatically open your browser, depending on what you use to browse on your system. It's either it open your Chrome or open Window Explorer or Firefox, depending on the type of browser you have on your system. So I'm still waiting for it to launch. Take time. Still taking a lot of time. So, yes, this is the problem of using Anaconda Navigator. So, I think. So, if you have any questions so far, please you can ask.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. I just joined the class now. I think I missed a lot before I joined. I find it difficult joining. I'm having a network problem. And sorry to draw you back. I'm trying to see if you can actually do how to launch the Anaconda. Please, can you actually do a recap of, because I missed you, because I'm just saying it's launched, but I didn't know how to launch it. I'm just trying to ask, sir. Sorry, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So the first way to launch your Anaconda is to first of all check if you have Anaconda on your desktop. If you don't have Anaconda on your desktop, all you need to do is to go through your Windows. So is to pass through your Windows and locate Anaconda on your system. So this is my own Anaconda here. So the first step or the first method is to pass through by clicking on Anaconda Navigator. So if you click on Anaconda Navigator, it will open up this particular, let's say, interactive section for you, where you can see different applications on your Anaconda environment. So now, if you click launch, that's when you can now launch your Anaconda using the Anaconda Navigator. So I think this is taking me a lot of time for me. So let me pass through the
Hello, we can hear you. Hello, Dr. Adekoke.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you
We
hear me
can't
now?
hear you before, but you can.
Okay, okay.
We can
Sorry.
hear you now.
Okay,
We can hear you now.
let me start again. Let me close my Chrome. Let me close this. So I said for you to access your Jupyter notebook, all you need to do is the fastest way is to look for Anaconda prompts on your system. This is Anaconda prompt. Now, if you click on this, it will pop up this particular screen. This is a DOS environment. A DOS environment. So it's not asking you, what do you want me to do? So just ask the system that, okay, I want you to open what is called Jupyter notebook. So, and we will wait for the system to open the notebook. So to open the notebook, it will make use of your browser. Your browser can either be Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, anything. So now it's opening this is my Jupyter notebook. It's an extension on my browser. So I'm waiting for it to complete. It's loading. So now this is my Jupyter notebook. This is showing me that, okay, I'm in Jupyter environment. So this is my Jupyter notebook. So if you want to log out from Jupyter, you will click log out. You can log out from your Jupyter using this. But our first class, for you to start using Jupyter, you need to create your working directory. For me, I have created a particular file on my desktop, which I called my Python class. So all I need to do is to access this folder from the Jupyter notebook. So it's on my desktop. Since I have it on my desktop, this is my desktop. I will click on my desktop. So on my desktop, the folder I want to access is my Python class. So I click on my Python class. So this is my working directory. This is the working directory I want to work with. So after getting to your working directory, you need to open a particular environment where you can write your code. So to do that, you will come to this place.
Yes, we are lost, sir. We are lost, sir.
Okay, where exactly?
On the notebook, on creating the Jupyter directory, working directory.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do it this way. Okay, so for example, create a folder, maybe on your desktop. Call it my Python class, or just call it any name. Let me use Python. So I will call it Python. So I have created a folder on my desktop called Python. So for me to access this folder from my Jupyter notebook, this is the root directory. This is the root directory. You have the 3D object, Anaconda, contact, desktop, and all the rest. But the folder is located on my desktop. So I need to locate where my desktop is from these options. So this is my desktop here. I will click desktop. Now, after clicking on desktop, I need to now have access to that folder that I've created, which I called what? Python. So this is Python. I will click on Python. So this is the folder. This is the folder I want to work with. And the folder is my desktop. On my desktop, I have another folder called Python. So this is where I want to work. This is where I want to write all my code. So for me to open Python on this Jupyter notebook, I will click on new. This is new. New. and it will ask me, what do I want? So I will tell the system that, okay, I want Python 3 because the version is 3.10, so it's Python 3. So I want to create a new notebook with Python 3. So once you click on it, it will create a new notebook using Python 3. So I believe we'll all understand the steps. Or is there
Yes, sir.
anybody that still need
Yes,
clarity?
sir.
Okay, thank you. So this is my Jupyter notebook. What we have here is untitled. This is the name of the notebook I have created now. If you go back to the desktop, to that particular folder on your desktop, which you call Python, you will see the word untitled.ipymd. This is telling us that it's a Jupyter extension. So this is the name of the file we just created now. So if you want to rename it from untitled to something else, all you need to do is to click. So now I have clicked on it. It's asking me enter the new notebook name. Let me call it my first class and save and rename this file. Automatically, the name of the file turns to first class. So that's why we have first class Jupyter notebook. Now, if you go back to your folder, you will see that the name.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Some people are lost. So please, can you take it slow by slow, gradually, so that we can carry everybody along? Now, Franklin, you came late to the class, but I don't know which area are you lost.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, it's at the launching side. I'm trying to get it on my system.
Launch.
Sir. I'm trying.
Sorry, launching is just like you are opening Microsoft. Just go to the search area of your desktop. Have you installed Anaconda?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you install it, just click on that search tab. Then you can type Anaconda or you type Jupyter. You can click, once you see Jupyter, click on it, it will come up. So that's just the launch.
Okay.
Is that right, okay? Thank you. Over to you, sir. You continue, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay. As I've said, so we have created our new notebook called first class. So this is, any question?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So you can change it again to anything you like. So this is the picture of what Anaconda, how Anaconda looks like. So the first thing is that you can come from this file, you can create a new file. You can open, you can make a copy, you can save as, you can rename, you can save and check points and all the rest. You can download using different formats. Now, if you click on new notebook, it will open another notebook for you, which it will name untitled. This is another notebook. So that is that. Now, this allows us to edit. But before we edit, this is a cell. This particular in a bracket is telling us that this is an active cell. It's an active cell because it has a green green icon here. It's telling you that this is where you can type your code. Let's say, for example, as we have said, hello world. Let's use the word hello world. For example, for us to run this line of code, we will use this button, run cell. If I click on run cell, it tells me that invalid syntax. Why is it invalid syntax? Because it's a sentence that needs to be in a it needs to be in a parenthesis. So let me run this code again. So we can see that we have hello world. This hello world, it means that our Python programming language is running correctly. It's a way to check if your Python is working fine or not. Now, having run this place, this is a cell. We call this place a cell. Another cell has opened here. We have another cell here. You can, once you run the code, this second cell becomes active. It becomes active because we have a green icon here. So if you want to edit the first line of code at the top, you can use your mouse, click on it, and edit it. Or better still, you can use this arrow. This arrow is telling you to move up the cell. This one is telling you down. So if I click on this down cell, it will move to the next. It moves the code to the down cell. That means I want this code to come to this next. But if I want it to be up again, I can move this code up again. So you can move your code, a cell. You can move this cell up, down, using this icon. This is moving down. If you want to move up, you can move up. If you want to move down, you can move down. So if you want to run your code, you can use this button, run button, to run the cell. So, but if you don't want to use this run cell, you can use the shift and enter key. If you use shift and enter key, it moves to the next line. And paste it here, paste cell here. So you can cut a particular cell and move it from one cell to another to paste it in another cell. Also, you can copy this code by using this copy. This is a copy. This is a copy icon here. Or better still, you can use Ctrl+C to copy this code. So if you click on this particular icon, you can come here to paste or use Ctrl+V to paste it. So this is paste. You have pasted the code again. So that is how to move. You can move through the cells by using down. You can go down. You can go up. Another way to move, to create a new cell under this particular cell. That is, I want to create a cell in between this first hello world and the second hello world, is by using the plus button. So the plus button says insert cell below. So if I click on this particular cell, plus, it will create another cell. So now I have clicked on the plus button. The plus button, there is a new cell has been created here. So which I can write a code, I can write my code within this particular cell. So to add a new cell within any code is to use this particular plus button. So if you look at the top here, you have the last time I saved this code is about 8 minutes ago. So I need to keep saving my code because of some for some unnecessary issues that might happen. So for me to save it, I can use Ctrl+X to save. And if you don't want to use Ctrl+X, you can also use this particular icon, save at and checkpoint. So if you click here, automatically it saves my code. And so, okay, the last time it saved was about a few seconds ago. So we have looked at the save icon, look at the insert cell icon, we have looked at cut, we have looked at copy, we have looked at paste, we have looked at how you can move your code using this up and down arrow button. We have talked about run, that we can use it to run a code. At times, we can run a code, and the code will keep running without stopping. So we will look at that later. So you can stop that particular process by using this icon, which is it interrupts the kernel. So once you click on this, you stop the programming language. And also you can restart a kernel. So restarting a kernel means you want to refresh, you want to start again afresh. So you can use this particular, so it asks you, once you click it, do you want to restart the current kernel? All variable will be lost. That is all your variables, everything you have will be lost. So if you say, okay, you want to restart everything, it will restart all the kernel. So it has stopped, it has completed that particular process. And we have seen a kind of sign saying that our kernel is ready to use. So we can restart our kernel and rerun the code from the beginning again. So once we click here, we can restart and run all the cells. So once we click here, restart, it will restart the code over again. So it has restart and run the code again. So we have looked at all these icons. Now, there is options here. We have different options because Jupyter allows us to type. It's a markdown, it's a markdown template. It allows us to type also. So what this place, all these cells are telling us is that this cell is telling us that you can only write code. But suppose I want to write text and I want Jupyter to know that this is not a code. So I will click on markdown. So it has converted this particular cell to a text. So I can write something like data mind analytics. So this is a way to add text to your Jupyter notebook. So if I have written such in our code, using this code environment, it will flag error. So it's expecting command that it needs to execute. So let me clean this up. So this also, there are many things you can do with this. You can increase the size. If I put 1 star, it increases the star. If I put double star, I can repeat the same data mines. If I use 3 asterisk, if I use 4 asterisk, so the more it reduces the size of your text. So this allows us to write text within our code. Within the Jupyter notebook, it allows us to write text and all the rest in our Jupyter notebook. So that is that. Within our code, we can use this to actually explain our code and all the rest. Also, we can check. Let us just say 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3. And let's run our code. Well, we see 5. So this 5 is just to tell us that, okay, we just ask computer to add 2 plus 3 together. On the we just need to add 2 plus 3 together. So this is just an introductory class to Jupyter notebook. So you can come to view, you can do so many things, you can insert. So this is another way of inserting cell above or below. For example, if I come to this particular cell and I say, okay, I want to insert above, it will create a cell above. If I want it to create a cell below, I will. So another way to do that is by clicking this cell, and if you type A, now it will create a cell above. Suppose I click and I type D, it will create a cell below. So we have a kernel. We can interrupt our kernel by stopping it. We can restart. This is another way to restart your kernel, and another way to restart and clear all output. So if we use the word restart and clear output, for example, let's look at it. So I have cleared everything and everything. So that means I have restarted and clear all output. I don't have any output again here. So for me to see any form of code, I will need to run this cell to see the output. I will need to run this cell to get my output. I will need to run this cell to run my output. So this is basically, you can shut down your Python Jupyter notebook from here also. So, but for more assistance, you can just come to help and you can come to keyboard shortcuts. So it will give you different shortcuts on how you can actually navigate through your Python Jupyter notebook section. You can use this, start with command mode. You will start with the escape button to enable. If you press F, you want to find and replace, Control Shift F, open the command palette and all this rest. So you can take a look at this app, keyboard shortcut you can use. So this is introduction. This is just introduction to Jupyter notebook, and I would like to entertain any question if there is any at this junction. So is there any question?
Before we entertain the question, I can see the number is increasing, and I will love if you can just go through this thing within 5 minutes again. How you launch, we already launched. How you start the kernel, the line by line, the kernel, so that people can now throw the question in total.
Okay, so
thank you, sir.
Let me close this, and let me close my kernel. So good. So for you to start with your Jupyter notebook, you need to launch it. And the best way to do that is to go to your window environment, search for Anaconda prompt. So this is the fastest way. Click on Anaconda prompt. Anaconda prompt. So just type Jupyter notebook and enter. So allow the environment to load. So once that process is completed, it will automatically open your browser. So here we are. So this is my Anaconda environment. So I said earlier that on my desktop, I have a folder which I called my Python class. For example, my Python class. So I need to access this folder from this particular environment. So I have it on my desktop. So this is my desktop. I click desktop and access my Jupyter, that is my Python class. So the first thing I said is that you can create a new Python notebook by coming to new and click on Python 3. Python 3. So that will automatically open a brand new Python notebook for you, where you can rename the Python notebook. So this, to rename the Python notebook, you can call it, let's say, test, for example. I have renamed that. You can save using this button. You can use this plus to add a new cell. You can remove this cell by cutting it. You can copy code. You can copy a selected cell using this line. You can paste it you can paste the code using this particular button, but normally you can use Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V to do that. You can navigate up and down from one cell to another using the down arrow and up arrow, down arrow and up arrow. You can run your line of code using this icon, and you can stop your code from running. You can interrupt it using this particular icon. You can restart your code, and you can restart and clear all output using this particular button. So that is just the summary of what we have talked about for the past, let's say, some minutes ago. So let me close this. Now, let's go back to, now we have explored our Jupyter notebook, and we need to talk about print function. So print and input functions, they are Python standard reserved words. They are reserved words which are used for specific things. Number one, the print functions allows us to print result, to print something out. So that is the word print, to print something out. While the input functions allows us to input something, to supply information to the system. So let's take, for example, let me launch this particular code. So this is the template we'll be working with going forward. So still loading it. Okay, so now this is what we'll be using. This is our notes for now. So as I've said, we can type text in our Jupyter notebook by selecting Markdown, and we can use different sites, different fonts using this hash. The higher your number of hash, the lower or the smaller your text. So, and we run this. So our first code, we want to write your first code like using the word hello world. We want to write our first line of code. So I would like to use the print function here to print that hello world. So all I need to do is to write print, open bracket, then I open apostrophe, and I write hello word, and I run this particular code. So print, the word print is just a reserved word in Python that allows us to view the output, and the output of what we want to see is hello world. So for input, now I want to input a variable. I need to create a new cell. Now that I've selected this cell, I can use the word B. If I type B, if I press the B on my system, I have a new cell, or I click this plus button. So the way the input works is this. Let's say, for example, age is equals to input, enter your age. Now, this input statement, by the time we run this code, it will prompt the user to supply his or her name. So let me run this line of code. Now we can see the box, this box that pop up. This box says enter your age. So this box is waiting for results from you as a user. So if I now tell, okay, my age is 3 years old. Let me say 3 years, and I enter. So I have supplied the age, that my age is 3 years old, but I can't see anything. So now I want to add a cell above this. I can come to insert button above. So I've inserted a new cell. So I can use the print button now, the print function, to print my age out. So if I say, okay, age, I can write it as something like this. I am open break, comma, age. So I am this. I am 3 years, let's say 3 years. So if you run this particular code, you have this. I am 3 years. So, but the question is, why are we using this apostrophe? We are using apostrophe because we are dealing with strings. They are not numeric. They are not numeric at all. They are string words. So that is why I put it in quotation like this, that okay, I want it to be printed that way. Then the age, which I supplied 3 years. So that is what I have now. So I am 3 years. So that is how to use the input and the print function in Python. So let's go back to our slide. Now, we want to talk about variables and data types, operations in Python, conditional statements, iterations, and data types. So what is variable? Variables are just is a way to reserve a memory location on your system. That means the Python environment will create a particular memory location for it and to store information. So what we call variable is a storage where we can store information. And data types can be of different types. It can be numeric or not numeric. So the data types will tell the memory or the system the exact type or the exact data type the variable you are supplying to the system will be. So let's create some variables. So to create a variable in Python, a variable is created the very moment you assign a value to it. For example, the last class, we talked about age. So age in this context is a variable. And this variable means that we are prompting the system, we are prompting the user to supply the variable, which is 3. So at this point, a variable is created, and the variable that is created in this is age. So let's create more variables. So for us to create more variables, we can use anything. Let's say, for example, the name of someone, let's say name is a variable. I want to create a name, and a name of person is not numeric. I will put it in quotation, in parentheses like this. I put it in quotation mark. Let's say I put the name Oluwakemi. So this is the name of a person, Oluwakemi. In quotes, I quote it because it's a name. So if I run this cell, a variable has been created, and the variable name is name. So for me to see this name, if I type name, for example, and I run this, I will see the name Oluwakemi. If I don't want to use this name, I can use print name. I can say, okay, it will say print Oluwakemi, and you can see the difference. This one, we have, it is being placed in quote. This one, there is no quote in it because I use the print button. Or I can decide to write it this way. My name is, I will put a kind of space, comma, name. That means I want the system to type, my name is dash. And what is this name? It will speak the name of our supply there, and to do that. So if I run that, my name is Oluwakemi, and that is how to create a variable name. Another way to create a variable name is by saying, okay, age is equals to 34. And I want to view that particular result. So age. So I have supplied the age. So let me use the word. I've created a variable here, age, which is 34. So, and for me to view the result, I can type age, or better still, I can still type print age. Print age. So it depends on which one you want. So it's either you want print age or you have age. Another thing you can have is a name of a city. Name of a city. This is another way of creating a variable name, and I will call it Lagos. Lagos. So once I have this, I can now say, okay, give me the name of a city. That is the name of a city, which is Lagos. Now, so that is how to create a variable. A variable is created the very first moment you assign a value to it. Now, but in Python, there are different ways to declare variables, which we will look at later on. So we want to talk about comment. Comment is a way of explaining our code. We want to explain our code. For example, let's say if I give somebody this particular code, let's go back to this line of code again. Let me copy this code. Now, I come here, I highlight this, and you can use the copy format, copy, and you can use paste. This is paste, to paste that particular this code here. So that is that. Now, let's say I just ask the person, enter your age. Age is this. The person will be wondering, what do you want me to do? So comment is a way to explain your code. Now, for example, let me use Shegun, the person, Shegun here. I will supply that particular code. But now, the best way for me to do that is so Shegun, and I enter that. So I have, let's just say I want to now explain my code. For you to put a comment into your code, you will use hash. This hash is the same hash used in our programming language. And just tell the user, supply your age. Supply your age. So basically, this hash this code will not, this line of code will not run because of this hash button. This hash symbol is telling the compiler to overlook it, overlook this section, overlook this place. All you need to do is that run the remaining line of code that are not placed in that hash symbol is not placed in front of it. So if you run this code, the only thing you will still see is supply your age. For example, you run this, you will not see the supply your age. All you need to see is enter your age, which is in this place. So we can say, okay, 34, and I will run that particular line of code. So that is another way to now don't forget to save your code anytime. Don't forget to save your code. Now, another way to comment your programming language is by using multiple hash method. You can say, okay, here, for example, we want to add, we want to collect data related. Let me now go to the next line. To country, yes, states, local government area. You can move, so you can start writing. It can be multiple line of codes, just to make it understandable that, okay, this is what you want to do in this
Hello, sir.
Like, yes.
What about the markdown? The markdown.
Oh, okay.
I thought you said that you can use to comment.
You can use markdown also. Yes, you can use markdown also.
Okay, sir.
But you can use markdown also. But this particular, when you look at this, the difference between this and that markdown is that I am writing comments inside my code. So, but for markdown, you cannot write any code within your markdown notebook. You can only write your code within the code, because I have this code here. That's why I can write my code. So this comment allows you to embed your comment alongside your code together in a single line.
Okay, sir.
That is that. Any other question?
No, sir.
So now let me move. So another way to have your comment is by using this. You can use triple. Yes, you can see that we have triple quotes. 1, 2, 3, triple quotes. So within this triple quote, you can write anything. What here? For example, you can say, okay, we want to compute the total score of a student in an examination, for example. So this triple code allows you to enter multiple comments without using this hashtag. And underneath, you can now say, okay, the test score, let's assume that our test score, we want to create a variable now called test, is 20. And our exam is 30. So we have created two variable names here, test and exam. So we can now say, okay, the total score here is test plus exam. So we can now print using the print function total. So if I run this code, we have our result 50. And we can see that this particular line were not even displayed in the result because it's just a comment. It's telling us more about the code we have written in this cell. So that is that. So let's move to our slide. So for you to declare a variable, there are basic rules you need to follow. So a name can only contain a number, letter. And when we say letter, it can be lower or uppercase, and underscore, and they are case sensitive. So there are some reserved words in Python such as while, if, else, print, input, and so on that cannot be used because they are reserved. They are used for specific purpose. So let's take, for example, we talk about variable. I can start by saying underscore x is equals to 4. I have declared my variable. So I can look at the result. So what is the result? What is my result? I can say that my underscore x is 4. But look at this x. This x is capital letter S. So let me change this to a small letter x and let me see the result that we get. Now, it's telling me that the name underscore L is not defined. Yes, it's not defined because Python is case sensitive. It's capital letter X is different from small letter x. So that is another first way to declare your variable. Another way is to say, okay, I want to define a variable x underscore 2, and I will target 3.4. So x underscore 2, you can access your result by pressing x underscore 2. Another way you can define your variable is by saying, okay, I have a1. A1 is equals to dot 3j. So let me run this particular line of code. So if I press A1 now, what will I have? 0.3j. But if I type capital letter A1 and I run it, it will flag error because it's not defined. This is a capital letter A, but what I have used so far is small letter a. So let's look at another error we can commit while we are trying to create a variable. Let me start with a number. A2 is equals to, let me use the word yes. Let's see if it will run or not. Now it flags error. Why? Because your variable name cannot start with a numeric. It can't start with a number. It can only start with alphabet or start with underscore. And then it can now be followed by number. So the variable name cannot start with number. That is why it flags this particular error. Now, another way you can have another error is by using a command. Let's say, for example, I have told you that if statement is a reserved word in Python. So if I say print is equals to 734 and I run it, then give me print. Now, print, we automatically assign 34 to it. But this is not the proper way because in Python, print symbolizes a something. So we shouldn't be using a reserved word in Python. So if we use, for example, we use if is equals to 45. Now let's look at that. It flags error because if statement is a reserved word in Python. So let's move on to the other to our slide. Now, any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay, so we have different types, data types, be it in data analysis, but we need to know different data types. We have numbers. Under numbers, we have integers. Integers are numbers that has no decimal point. We have floats. Floats are numbers with decimal point. We have complex numbers. So for people in mathematics, they know what complex number is when they are talking about vector and all the rest. So we have another data type called Boolean. Boolean is either true or false, yes or no. And we have another data type called set. We have dictionary, we have sequences. Under sequence, we have string. We have looked at strings so far, and we have not. There's another data type called list and tuple, which we are going to look at in this study. So we have integer, string, and float. This diagram represents something which I will see come back to it. So let's look at data types. Data types can be numeric. Under numeric, it can either be integer or float. We can or complex number, or we have string. Let me use that. So let me define my variable. The variables I want to use here. Let me use variable name. I want to have, you can define multiple variables in Python by using command to separate it. So let me use variable, let me use that name, age, let me use distance, yes, and let me use X. So I want to define variables for these four. I want to declare values for these four variables. Number one, name. Let me use Adeyinka, for example. Yes, Adeyinka. Then we have age. The age is 34. Let's say that distance can be 45.3 kilometers. And let me have this as complex, which is 1 plus 3j. 3j. Now, let me run this particular line of code. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4. So it has run. Now, I can access my variable name as Adeyinka, my age as 34, distance as 35.3, then X as this. So, but let's now look, what are the types of each of these variables? So how can we get the type? It's just to say, okay, using the word type name. This type name tells us that this particular variable name is a string. And it's a string because, as you can see, it contains a name of somebody, Adeyinka. So we can check the type of age. Age is telling us that it is integer. Why is it integer? There is no decimal point. So we can look at type of distance. It's telling us that it's float. Float because there is decimal point, 0.3. And lastly, we can look at type X, which is saying is a complex number. That is 1 plus 3j. Lastly, we can even look at type of true, because we call something true or false. Let's look at that. True. Type is Boolean. Boolean can either be true or false. So this particular slide here is telling us that our integer can be converted to float. Float can be converted back to integer. Integer can be converted to string. String can be converted back to integer. So in rare cases, float can be converted back to string and so on and so forth. So we are going to check that now. So let's look at that.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can we go through this example again? Yeah, from data type. Yes.
This example.
Yes.
So I have defined 4 variables: name, age, distance, and X. The name, I assigned Adeyinka to it, the age as 34, the distance as 45.3, and X as a vector 1 plus 3j. So for me to access each of these variables, I access it by typing the name. Okay, my name. Give me the value of the name. That is Adeyinka. Give me the value of the age. That is 34. Give me the distance. That is 45.3. Give me the value of X. That is this particular vector. So I want to know which data type are all these variables. Which data types are they? Now, for me to check the data types in Python, the reserved word is type. So once you write the word type of what? Variable name. So you click, let's run this particular code. It tells us that our name variable is string. For age, it tells us that our variable is integer. For distance, we have float. Float means a decimal point, which is numeric. For X, it tells us that it is complex. And type of true or false is a Boolean type. So now we can now look at converting float to integer. Let's say, for example, my age. The age here used is 34. And the type of age is integer. Now, if I want to change this age from integer to float, all I need to do is to say, okay, float age. And I will type enter. So this float age is telling us that convert this age from integer to float. That is with a number with integer. For example, again, let's look at distance. Distance is 45.3, which is a float. Which is a float. Distance is a float. Now, I can convert distance to integer by using int, integer, to distance. Convert distance to integer. What we have is 45. Yes, we have 45 because 0.3 is not up to 5. If it is up to 5 or more than 5, it will round it up to 46. Let's take, for example, integer of 45.8. What are we going to have? So it still convert, it displays this particular point. It converts it to integer. Now, another one we have here is string. Yes, string, which is name of a person. Now, we cannot convert name of a person type. We cannot convert string to float. Something like this. So let's say float name. It will display error because it cannot convert it to float. If it's okay, we want to convert name to integer, it's not possible. But at times, we might have a string. Let's say, for example, we have a string A, which we have tagged as 3. So this is 3. Let's check what is the type of 3. Type of A is string. Why is it string? Because it is placed in a what? In this particular quotation. That is why it's string. So, but I can convert this A to integer. Integer of A is 3 now. I can convert it to float. Float of A is 3. And why can you do that? Because this particular string is numeric. It can convert to numeric. But for someone like using a name, something like a name like, okay, Adeyinka, for example, which we have here. Let me just print out the name here, Adeyinka. This Adeyinka cannot be converted to any form. So that is why in this, that's why I have this chart. That's okay. Integer can be converted to string. Float can be converted to integer. Integer can be converted to float. Float can be converted to string, but not all string can be converted to float and integer. So that is that. Now, we have operators. Operators are constructs that we can use them to manipulate. So let's take example. Under the operators, we have 4 types of operators. Number 1 is the arithmetic operator, which is the math operator, comparison operator, assignment operator, and logical operator. So under the arithmetic operator, this is what we have: addition, subtraction, multiplication, floor division, exponentiation, division, and modulus. So let's take, for example, we have this variable A to be equals to 16, B to be equals to 5. Let's run this. So I can tell Python that A plus B. Let me come to that. Let's say under the addition, A plus B, which is 21. I can say A minus B, which is 11. That is 16 minus 5. That is 11. Let me now do B minus A. B minus A. That is minus 11. Division, A divided by B. We have 3.2. We can have A divided by 5, which is 3.2 also. Now, for modulus, this particular modulus is, let's look at the sign. For modulus, it is percentage. What modulus does is that it gives us the value after decimal points. It produces value after decimal point. For example, let's say A percent B And let's run the code. 1. So why is it 1? Because A divided, that is, when we look at division, we say A divided by B is what? 3.2. So 3.2, because we have some decimal point after it, that is why it produces 1. For example, we can say 5% 2. Let's look at that. That is 1. So ordinarily, 5 divided by 2 supposed to be 2.5. So we use this modulus actually to know if a particular value can be divisible by another one without remainder. Without a remainder. Let's say, for example, 4 module 2. We enter it. It gives us 0. The reason why we have a 0 is because 4 divided by 2 will give us 2.0. So that 0.0 means it is 0. So if once you don't have a 0, it will supply 1. That is what the modulus does. So for exponential, we can say A. Exponential is double asterisk. Let's say A asterisk B. So we can say that A squared of A, we can say 3 squared, that is 9. So this is just to perform, so for my multiplication case, we can say, okay, A multiplied by B, that gives us 80. It can be A multiplied by 9, that gives us 144. So for floor division is the opposite of modulus. It will give us the value before the decimal point. For example, let's look at the sign. The sign for floor division is double slash. Now, let's say 5 double slash 2. It gives us 2. But if we divide, 5 divided by 2 is supposed to be 2.5. But because we are using floor division, it supplies only the value before the decimal point. So that is what the floor division means. It supplies only the value before the decimal point. So A floor B will give us 3. So 9 floor 2 will give us 4. So it only supplies the value before the decimal point. So let's look at comparison. So to compare something together, there must be something you use to compare it together. For example, is 5 greater than 4? Is 3 less than 2? So those are the kind of things to compare something together. To compare, for example, when we are in school, we say, okay, if you score above, or if you score 70 and above, that is A. If you score 60 and above, that is B, and so on. So in Python, what allows us to perform this operation is the use of greater than, less than or equals to, not equals to, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to, is a conditional that it compares something together. And when you compare something together, it will rather tell you whether it is true or it is false. For example, let's examine our A again. Our A is 16 and our B is 5. So if we say, is A equals to B? We say A, equality sign, B. So we are comparing A with B in this particular code. What are we we want to know if A is equals to B. So if A is not equals to B, it will tell us that it is false. If A is equals to B, it will tell us that it is true. So now A is not equals to B because our A is 16 and our B is 5. So using the word A equals B will give us false. Now, when we say not equals to B, not equals to, that means A is A not equals to B. Sincerely, our A is 16, our B is 5. A is not equals to B indeed. So if we now look at that, we ask a question, A not equals to B is true because 16 is not equals to 5. So another question is A less than B or is B less than A? we will say, okay, B less than A. So this particular sign here is less than button. So it's telling us that B is less than A, which means 5 is less than 6. Now, is B greater than A? That is the question. So B greater than A. If it is true, it will tell us that it's true. If it is not, we will have false. So B is not greater than A because 5 is less than 16. So less than or equals to, so is B less than or equals to? That is A. That is the question. B less than or equals to. So if B is less than or equals to A, so 5 is less than or equals to A, which is true. So is A greater than or equals to B? Greater than or equals to B? We ask this. So this one is telling us true. The reason why it's true is because 16 is greater than 5. Now, we have another operator called logical operator. Logical operator allows us to combine two conditional statements together. And those logical operators are known as and, or, and not. So let's check out how to use these 3 logical operators. Now, how can we combine that together? Now, let's say that A, we know what our A is to be 16 and our B to be 5. Is A equals to 9? Is A equals to 16 and B equals to 5? That is the statement here. Let's ask. So this is telling us true. The reason why it's true is that our A is 16 and our B is 5. So let's try another statement by saying that is A copy and paste equals to 5 and not equals to, and B not equals to 5. Let's look at that statement. So we have false. The reason why we have false is that truly A is equals to 16, but B is not equals to, B is B not equals to 5. So, and that is why we have false. So for our and or statement, it can be a statement like this. A is less than or equals to 9, or is A greater than or equals to 15? Let me use that. A less than or equals to 9, or A greater than or equals to 15. Let's look at that. True. True, because what all statements means is that one of the statements must be correct. So if one of the statements is correct, then it will be true. But in the case of and, if the case of and, the 2 statements must be true for us to have true. So if one of them is not true, then we are going to have false. But for all, one of the statements must be true, because before we can have true, and that is the way we have it. Another example is that if we say that total score, let's say my total score, yes, is equals to 75, and they will now say total is greater than or equals to 70, and the total is less than or equals to 100. So if it is true, we are going to know that. So this is true. Why is it true? Because our total is between 70 and 100. That is what the statement means here. So let us now add another. Let me put this at the top here. So now if I have my total to be 50, and I use or statement, total is greater than 70, or is total less than or equals to 100. Let's see what we are going to have there, which is still true. So my total is 50, greater than 70. Yes, and total is less than, because it's less than 100. total, which is here, is 50. And 50 is less than or equals to 100. So that is why we have true in this statement. So not, let's use not. The word not is that not B equals to 5. Not B is saying that if B is 4, then not B, that is anything aside from 4, is what we are comparing with 5. So in this case, our B is 5. Let's check our B. Our B is 5. Now, if we use the word not B, what is not B? That means something that is not B is not equals to 5. Will be false, because we are going, this particular value is telling you that select another value that is not 5. So that is why we have 4. So if I have assigned 3 to this particular value, if I have assigned 3 to this particular value, it will have given me true, because B is not equals to 3. Rather, B is equals to 5. And that is that. So for the assignment statement, we have looked at age earlier. Our age is 34. Let's say my age is 34. We can perform an assignment statement by saying that, suppose I am a year older today, and we have age is equals to age plus 1. So what is my age? So give me, what is my age? That is 35. This condition is an assignment statement because of the equality sign. This equality sign is what is known as assignment operator. And aside from the assignment operator, we also have subtract operator. We have modulus operator, we have divided operator, we have multiply operator, we have add operator. And how? Yes?
Okay. Thank you so much for the way we are moving. I want to create indulgence that you should, please, let's consider that some people we are still learning. And I believe the script will be shared after the class, and the slide. People have been asking. So I said, let me ask you directly now.
Yes, I'm going to make it available.
So we make it available so that people will be able to, they can also listen and see what you are doing. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to make the slide available. So now we said age is equals to age plus 1. I can rewrite this particular code by saying that age plus equals to 1. This is what is called add operator. Add operator is because I'm telling the Python to add 1 to it and give us the result. This particular code is the same thing as this code, but I'm just writing it in this way. So if I have added that, it will give me 36, age 36. Yes, the same add operator is available for subtract operator. So for the subtract operator, we put minus equality equals to then 1. So if we look at that and we assess our age, it supplies 35. So it's still the same thing by saying age is equals to age minus 1. Just that the first one is more, let's say, shortcut compared to the other one. So having this, we can assess our age now, and we have 34. So we can check using other operators, multiplication operators, divided operation, and all the rest. So we can look at that by having age multiplied by 2. Then give me the age, which is 68. So we can have the one of division, which is divided by 4. Let's use that. Then we can have that operator, which is B let me get the result out. So the result here is H, which is 17.0, which is float actually. So this is how the assignment operator actually work. So now we make decisions anytime we write codes. And a basic example of decision we are talking about here is when we add, let's say, a score of students. We can now say, okay, based on this score of students, the person passed this exam. For example, JAMB will tell us that, okay, if you score, I think 140 in your exam, that means you are qualified to be admitted into higher institution. And this particular statement can be achieved using if statement in Python, which is similar to the case structure considered by Babatunde in SQL. So if statement, it contains some logical expressions which allows us to make comparison between two decisions and to take decision based on that. Let's look at different if statement that we have in Python. We have only one if statement. We have if else statement. We have if elif else statement. We have if elif, and so on and so forth. So, but the first one said the condition. This is the flow chart for that particular condition. So if this particular condition is met, if it is true, execute this particular code. If not, go and stop the code. That is what if statement tells us. Let's take, for example, write a code to allow a user who is 18 or more years of age to be allowed into a party. So we want to write a code. The condition here is that the user must be 18 years of age. And for us to do that, you need to prompt the user to supply the age, his age. And how can we do that? We use the input statement. So age is equals to input, quotation, enter your age. Yes, enter your age. We use input statement. Let me just run this code and let's check something. Now, the statement here is that enter your age. So I entered 16. Let's check the type of this age. What is the type of this age? It's a string variable. So anytime you use input statement, you will definitely have string variables. And earlier on, I told you how you can convert your string to a numeric variable, which is in float or integer. So the best way to do that now is by saying that, okay, age, let me rewrite this particular code. Sorry. Okay, so let me rewrite this particular code. I want to copy this code and paste it here. And paste it. Let me copy this code, age, and paste. What I need to do is to convert this to integer because my age can only be integer. So converting string to integer is what I've done here. Now, let's look at that. Age is 34. Enter. So let's look at type of this age now. Type of this age. Integer. Good. So we can now use our if statement to do that. And for us to use this if statement, here is the expression. If our expression, we have a column, perform this statement, else close the code. So how we can do that is that I will start by saying, okay, supply me with this code. Age. If statement now, if age, the condition given to us is that if the user is 18 years or more. So if age is greater than or equals to 18. This is a condition statement we have looked at previously. So we now add colon. Once we add colon, this particular line will be indexed because it needs a set of information. So the set of information I would like to put here is that allow the user to come in to the party. So that is just the if statement. And let's run the code and let's see what we get. So my age is 25. Let's see what happens. It prints the code. It's supposed to print that particular line of code. So input age then equals to okay, greater than print this. So we need to print this statement. It needs to print. Okay. Let me do that again. Stop. So let me say my age is 34. Then I ask it if age is greater than 18, then supply print this. So now this is throwing us a error. Error in the sense that it's saying, okay, if age is greater than or equals to 18, then let's trace it back. It's not print. Why are we having this error? The reason why we are having this error is because if you remember, at some point, we have used print statement. I have declared my print statement at the top to be numeric, if you remember. That is why I'm having this kind of error. I remember where we used that under variable name. Let me check that. Okay. So for us to be able to do that, for us to be able to overwrite that, all I need to do is to change it. Now, let me go back to my kernel, restart, and clear output, all outputs. So that has been done. So now it has restarted to the way it is. So let me go and use that particular command again and see how we get that, how we are going to do that. So let me run this code. Supply your age, 34, then run the code. So if my age is this, enter your age, input integer, that. So let me rerun this. Sorry, 35. So I'm having some kind of, it's loading here, but it's taking time. So, but for me to bypass this, let me just use this approach. Let me say, okay, input, enter your age, enter your age. That is that. So my age is now equals to integer. Then let's print age here. So let me now run this. Age is 34. So it has supplied me as integer. So for me to be able to supply that particular result, I will convert this to int of age. So age means I have converted my age from string, because I've told you earlier that when you use this input, you have a string variable. So let me supply, I have 25 as my age. I printed that. Then I have my results. So let me do that again. I'm having errors. 24. So it's running. Whereas still Sorry. Let's see, I have 25 as my age. Then let me clear my, let me restart my kernel. Then yeah, I'm having something. So my age is 34. So that works. So, okay, I think I'm having issues with this. So let me close it. Let me assume a particular value for my age. So if age is 34, then you have if statement, which is if age is greater than 18, then you should print allow the user to come into the party. But if my age is 12, let's say for example, no instruction is produced. We don't have any instruction here. And the reason why we don't have instruction is that because we don't have any alternative for it. The only thing is that if age is greater than 18, which is, let's say 34, print this. And that is the if statement condition, the if statement, what it's meant for. But if you are to use if else statement allows you to have separate code. If yes, perform this. If no, perform this. Then we execute that particular statement. So we have if X statement. So we can rewrite this code firstly and say that, okay, else, print. And you are not eligible to attend this party. So you are not eligible to attend this party means if we run this code and we put 13 here, what it will produce for us is that you are not eligible. Now it's giving us problem. The error message here is name print is not defined. Why is it not print? Because I use capital letter P. So for me to be able to do that, I will use a small letter P. Then I will be able to rectify that particular that. So this is where I'm going to stop for tonight. The if statement and if else statement. I'm going to stop tonight because our time is fast spent, and I'm going to send the file and also this particular Jupyter notebook for us to use. So thank you very much. So for us to access this document, all you need to do is to put it inside your folder, then you can access it from there once you launch your Jupyter notebook. So over to you, Dr. Shegun. Okay, please take over from here. Mr. Ogunsanya.
Yes, sir.
So please take over from here. I think Dr. Oke is busy.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I'm through for today.
Okay.
So I'm through for today. So you can take over.
Thank you so much for your time, for the presentation. Yes, some people are asking. I can see the question here, saying the age equals to age to see if whatever. He is going to share the script with us, and we will also look into it, and you will also be able to go through it one after the other. If you have any question with the slide and the script, you can ask question, especially by tomorrow. We can also ask question on that. So if you are here and you've not installed your Anaconda, please try and install Anaconda and be able to use your Jupyter notebook. And from then, it will help and you will learn along the line. So any question for today, please? If you have any question, can you please raise up your hands so that our facilitator can also do justice to that. Any question? So if you don't have any question, can we just send a text message? Can we just put a chat there? Thank you. Please, let's appreciate our facilitator for today. Let's appreciate him. Just send the text, so just send a chat there. Yeah, thank you so much for sending that. And our facilitator today, thank you so much. We'll continue from here tomorrow. It's a good job. By the time you check your slides, the slide will be available also. By the time you check, you don't need to send the email. Just, you will see everything on the WhatsApp group. You will see everything on the WhatsApp group. If you are not on WhatsApp group, then let us know. If you are not on WhatsApp group, let us know. Just discuss with someone that shared the code with you that you would like to join the WhatsApp group, and the person will share the link, and just click the link and join. So from then you will be able to have access to all these resources. Thank you so much, Dr. Adegoke. God bless you. So on this note, we call it a day. See you guys tomorrow. Same time, same venue, and we'll continue from there. Bye for now.